Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I decided to do a story time. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Louisa and I film about faith, family and relationships on this channel. I have a passion for working relationships, seeing marriages work, seeing relationships blossom, and everyone being happy, enjoying and maximizing relationships at every level of their life. And so if you're new here, please consider subscribing because you will enjoy everything that is coming out of this channel. Then if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Now, so let's go right into my story. You know, sometimes most of the time people hear people talk about relationships, especially people tend to think that you are coming to talk out of experience all the time, but I'll be saying my story today, but of course I'll be talking out of my experience, but I don't think it was my experience that shaped my resolve for the kind of things I speak about or the kind of things that I'm drawn towards as regards relationship. I think that in as much as my story or my experience is not the only contributing factor to what I talk about, I also think that my experience also gives me an edge to be able to talk about these things. I'll explain, or you'll see why as my explanation or my story goes on. Right from the time that I was young or younger, I always love to see people in relationships. I always love to see people. I like the idea of, oh, they're both in a relationship, they're in love, this is a couple, like a married couple, and I'm looking at them, I'm observing. Like, that is one area I think I observe the most in my entire life, and that is another pointer to why I think that I am drawn to this, right? I'm not a very observant person naturally. Like, I can be with you, you might have changed some things, I might not observe it. I know that about myself. Like, I'm not so observant. Like, I'm not the kind of person that will see you wear an earring today and understand tomorrow that it's not the same earring you're putting on. It has to be very obvious. So when I observe something, you really need to take that thing serious, because I'm naturally not an observant person. So for instance, if I see you and I say, oh, you are slim, you have reduced, you have really reduced, because it has to have been very obvious for me to see. That's what I'm just trying to say. I'm just trying to say that I'm not a naturally observant person. Some people are very observant. They observe the little and tiniest detail of everything, but I'm not that kind of a person. And so when I began to observe that from a young age, I've always loved seeing people in marriages, seeing people in relationships. I've always loved the idea. I've always loved the closeness. I've always loved the relationship in that regard, like in the aspect of relationship and then marriage, right? So I also observed as I grew that when I got to school, I said, oh, people in relationships are like, even though I had never gone into any relationship at the time, and I would be happy, oh, you're in a relationship with this person, oh, wow, nice. I now later began to observe that even when I see people that are in relationships that are not working, or relationship that they are forcing, or relationship that is toxic, it was a burden to me. I would always feel angered. I would always feel pressured. I would always feel like, I don't like this. Like, it was painful. Like, I felt the pain, I felt the anger, and I'm like, you are not in the relationship. The person in this relationship is enjoying it or enduring it willingly. Why are you drinking paracetamol for another person's headache? But I also learned and know that sometimes what you are angered about, or what draws your attention, in both positive and negative ways, could be a pointer to what you either have a solution to or what you are to attend to. Some basically that's what I'm saying. So, and I was like, okay, if this thing really affects me, if I see good relationships and I'm excited, and if I see the ones that are not working well and I'm not happy about it, it means that I could have a solution to this. It means that I might have something that could be a turning point for these relationships. And I just knew about it and I just relaxed. But I observed that I like to talk about relationships, I like to talk about marriages. I don't talk a lot. In fact, I used to be a very, very shy person. But I observed that when it comes to topics on relationships, I will go on and on and on and on. And when I listen to messages, I listen to relationship messages, I stay there. When I read books, the ones that are talking about mostly relationships and all, I would be invested, and I'm like, okay, I think that there is something about this for me. And so that was how it began. So because I love to see relationships work, I also I couldn't wait to be in that position. When I had people say, oh, my boyfriend is this, my girlfriend is this, he is this, I'm like, I can't wait to have my own he. I can't wait to be somebody else's she. Like, I looked forward to it. But in as much as I looked forward to it, I didn't go into any relationship for a long time. And it wasn't because of any specific reason. I think that I just got to a point where, okay, I think I attended a program and we were told to try not to go into relationships until we could see our degree in front of us. So for instance, it was like, okay, ensure that you don't just go into relationships anyhow. Make sure that that's why till today I'm a big subscriber to the fact that if you're not ready for marriage, there's no point thinking of a relationship. You just waste time, you just waste emotions, and you just either get a lot of baggages from it and then maybe have a wrong mindset towards relationship afterwards, or just continue in that wrong line and just toll all the way, finding yourself in places that you might not want to. So I told myself that, okay, I will not go into relationships until I'm in 300 level in school, when I can see that, oh, I have a year to graduating, I can see that, oh, I've done well to this level, I can now go into relationships. So that was my idea. But I was really, really looking forward to going into relationships. I was really looking forward to the experience because I loved it. I loved to see relationships that were working. And so I found out that when I got into 300 level, I just thought I wasn't ready. So because I had a lot of beautiful relationships around me, I had a lot of wonderful marriages working, even though I got to see and hear about a few that were not good, but I had much more working relationships around me. And so I knew that in as much as I wanted to go into relationships, in as much as I wanted to get married early, I really wanted to get married very early. I'm also still of the opinion that getting married early is a blessing, right? It does not mean that everybody's going to go through that route, but I loved getting married early. Bible talks about getting married, talks about the wife of your youth, right? So even God encourages early marriage, right? And so I really wanted to get married. In fact, I wanted to get married in like 22, 23. In my head, that's what I wanted, like early marriage. In fact, I would say I want to get married early, and then I'll be with my husband, just me and my husband, for like a year or two, no babies. We just get to know each other, get to blend, get to understand ourselves before a baby will come as a distraction and all. That was my plan. And so, did it work? Let's get going. Let's keep going. And so, but when I got to 300 level, I just saw and knew that I wasn't ready. And I was one of the kind of people that looked forward to getting into relationships, but I also knew that I didn't want to just date for dating's sake. I didn't want to go into relationships for just to see how it goes or marking the calendar. No, I knew it had to be a purposeful one. I knew I had to be ready for it. I knew I had to be in a space where I'm not going in because every other person is going into it. And so when it was 300 level that I'd given myself, I still felt that I wasn't ready for it. I still felt like it just wasn't time. And so, in as much as, of course, I am and was very beautiful, a lot of people were coming then. In fact, from 100 level, I already had somewhere that even me, I was crushing on. So, but I just knew that I wasn't ready for it. I just knew. And so I was still towing the path, still doing what I should do. Of course, still applauding people that are in beautiful relationships, not having any negative, of course, because everybody has their race. And so when I knew, in fact, I ended up finishing from school, I graduated, I left school, I went on to work for a year before I came back to school to do clearance. And that was when I now got into the first ever relationship that I went into. I'd finished school, I'm talking about university now. I'd finished tertiary institution. And so I went into that relationship. But I went in with a purpose. I went in knowing that this is what I wanted. This is the goal. I knew the boundaries that I had. Because I told you I've been investing in relationship messages and books, learning, hearing, seeing beautiful relationships, like hearing people's stories and all. And so I knew what I wanted. I knew values that I wanted. And one thing for me is I always knew how to communicate what I wanted. I didn't care. I was not a person that wanted to please any and everybody, not really. I knew clear cut what I wanted. I was able to communicate it. So at the beginning of the relationship, if you are not in this, we move like So then my mom would say, you are just entering relationship and breaking, I'm like, in fact, before I even enter relationships, in talking, because I didn't even have a lot of exes, like I didn't even enter a relationship with a lot of people. Like I didn't go into relationships with a lot of people. From talking stage to, oh, how are you doing? Let's get to know each other. In talking stage, we are discussing what are the expectations, what are your boundaries, what is a no-no for you. We discussed. So from there, I knew who I could go into relationships with, and I knew who would not cross that line. Do you get? So because of what I knew, and because I knew what I wanted, I didn't go into a lot of relationships before I got married, because from the talking stage, I knew who to move on with and who not to move on with. And that didn't mean that the first person I dated is who I married. No, but I knew that a person that I could date or go into relationships with is a potential spouse until they now prove otherwise. So that you're able to say, oh, this person looks like someone that I can go into a relationship with, does not mean that you have to marry them if you now find out that there's no way for you here, or when you get to a level, we're no longer aligning, we no longer have the same values, right? So, but it just helped me not to have a lot of people in relationship. And so that's one of the reasons why I didn't really get married when at the age I would have wanted to, because I got to that age and I still didn't feel ready. I got to that age and I still really didn't feel like I was qualified. And when I say qualified, it means that I didn't say that, okay, marriage was in the next 1 or 2 years. Another reason why I didn't get married as early as I thought I would is because I wasn't meeting the people that I felt were eligible. Because the fact that I wanted to really get married, the fact that I really wanted to go into beautiful relationships, I still needed to go in there with people that I felt like would give me the beauty and the color that I wanted in relationship. So I was not pressured to go into relationship with just anyone. And so the two basic reasons for me not getting married when I would have wanted to get married was, number one, I didn't want to get into relationship or get married just because I felt like, oh, the time I set has gotten there, so just go. No. And then I didn't just want to enter with just anybody. So until I was ready and I met who I thought was ready and available and qualified, I didn't go into relationships. And so when I now began to date, that was after I had left school and everything, I still had my boundaries. I still knew that, okay, these are the things that I can take for granted, these are the things I cannot take, I cannot relate with. This is the kind of person I want, and if this person is no longer aligning, I didn't waste time to cut relationships short. Like, I wasn't the person that wanted to be in a relationship for too long without a goal without a purpose, without a clear cut goal. I knew when to end relationships, I knew when to move on, and of course understandably explain to this person, this is it, right? So yeah, and so far, because I think that because I knew what I wanted, because I knew how to navigate these relationships, because I knew that as far as I was still in the dating phase, I had a lot of the time my say. This was the time for me to exhibit or accept what I wanted and knew what I didn't want. I still had the power at this point. So I told myself that I was going to use that power to make my choice in the right way. And so I didn't have, this is humbling now, I didn't have any heartbreak in my relationship journey. No, the only one that looked like a heartbreak was a heartbreak instigated by myself, because I was in that relationship and I just knew that I wasn't to continue, even though I liked this person, even though I wanted to go on, but I just knew that this is not it. So if you are going ahead with this, you are going ahead because you feel comfortable here, not thinking of this other person and not thinking of your future, right? So that was me ending it when I didn't really feel like I really wanted to. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that, so I didn't have any heartbreak because I knew when a relationship was not going the way I want, because I was objective, I was logical. I didn't allow emotions to cloud my sense of judgment. I didn't allow emotions to make me start to take nonsense. I didn't allow some things that were not supposed to be prioritized in the relationships to be prioritized, so that I could be clear mind and clear conscience, make decisions that would favor me and on the long run also favor the other person in the relationship. And so that was why I married at the time I got married, not when I wanted to, but I would say that I am happy that I waited as long as I did. I would say that I appreciate my journey, and I don't think I would change anything. I think that if I was to turn back the hand of time, I would still have done things the way I did them, because it benefited me a great deal. Like, I didn't have a lot of baggages. I didn't have a lot of toxic experiences and relationships with people, just because I knew what I wanted and I decided to do things the way that would favor me first at that time. And so that was so. I like to say to somebody that is single and wanting to go into a relationship, or in the relationship stage of your life, that it will please you to ensure that you remain objective, that you are open-minded, that you have goals, you have values, you have boundaries that are communicated to the person you want to go into relationships with early enough, so that you know what to go into and what not to go into in the first place. Because when you have what it is that you look forward to, what you can take, what you cannot take, the things that you can compromise and what you cannot compromise, it will first of all help you to streamline the potentials. Instead of having a wide range and not knowing what to do, you have a very few people that you can now begin to know, look at them, weigh them, and know what it is that you go for. Instead of not having any boundary, not having anything that you would say is a no for you, just floating in relationships just to see how things go. No, don't do that. You would hurt yourself, you would elongate your journey, in fact, it will be of no good to you, because I know people that were jumping up and down, feeling like they have to be very, very extroverted even when they naturally are not, just because of relationships. And a lot of these people, some of them are still not married now. So doing things with the way people do it does not guarantee that you will get the result that you intend to get, right? So know what it is that you want in a relationship. Build yourself to be what the person you want. When you meet them, ensure that your values are aligned, ensure that you have the same boundaries, ensure that you are thinking in the same direction. And then when you want to go into a relationship, go in objectively, sticking to the original agreement, sticking to the original boundaries that have been set, and you will just see that You would either attract only people that are serious. Anybody that is not serious will not be comfortable in your space, because you are a disciplined person in the first place, because you are firm with your values and principles. And then only serious people will come in when you just find out that things will just work in line for you, because you have put yourself in a place where only people that can cope in that situation would be. Yeah, so that's my story. Of course, thank you for joining me this far. If you have gotten here, please like this video. Please let me know your thoughts right down in the comment section. If there's something you'd like me to expatiate on or talk about, please let me also know right down in the comment section. And please, I would appreciate that you share this video. Till I come your way again, keep the relationships the right way to get the right results, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, bye.